Ralph Breaks the Internet is a sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, which is a Disney film, but kind of created in the Pixar sort of style. And that whole idea of that world, the original movie, was that it was taking place in this game world, in this arcade. And, Wreck-It Ralph, it was the villain, and he's tired of playing the villain he's doing it for decades. And he breaks out and he goes into this racing game, which has this character that is a glitch. And it's kind of like a really big bonding thing where they come together and like help her, she's like the princess, and she should, be the champion of the game. She should be one of the main characters, but instead she's an outcast. And that the first movie was a really kind of beautiful, charming little animated film. And it had a lot of game references, and there's a lot to go on with it. And so it did well enough that they wanted to make a sequel. And Disney doesn't have the best luck with the animated sequels. Then most of them, like back in the day, they come out on Blu-ray, or they come out on DVD or VHS or whatever, and they were never as good as the first one. But I had high hopes for this, and it didn't quite meet them.
This is what's called the dark net.
Are you sure this is safe?
Just whatever you do not look at his little brother.
Oh, his little brother?
What are you doing here?
The reason I came to your neck of the face. I mean, there's a face in your neck. I mean, woods. Neck of the woods.
I liked a lot of stuff it did with it. And of course, being the internet, you had to have a bunch of internet references. But I kind of missed the game references. And the internet, it doesn't quite go into like, some of their horrible movies. Like, and into like, really just being paid advertising. But most of the stuff that either like Disney owns, so they don't have to worry about it, or they just they use a fake version of it, but they'll still have references in the background. And it kind of works. The idea is that the racing game breaks the wheel, and he's gonna shut it off, and now all the characters are gonna be homeless. So he wants to go to eBay and buy a new wheel. And of course shenanigans ensue. Although that's not how watching it's so stupid, but I'm like, since they're using the real eBay, that's not how eBay works. Like, it's kind of a funny scene where like they're trying to win the game, so they keep upping the bid. They keep increasing the bid on the wheel, to $20,000 or something crazy like that. And it's like, if you increase the bid on eBay, that all you're doing is increasing the max you're willing to pay. If someone else doesn't bid you up for that little bit, you wouldn't have to pay that max. But that's just nitpicking. That doesn't really matter. But honestly, I think my biggest problem with this film is that, they don't have a moment that, like, a lot of the first one was, taking place in, the Candy Crush, not Candy Crush, but like the racing world. And they have to, figure out how to do anything, and they have to conquer something. And this one, there really doesn't have that story, anything to do. Like, the only MacGuffin is just to get enough money to pay for the wheel, so he has to become an Instagram star, or whatever. They use something different for that, but they must not have any stakes in Instagram. But he has to make money from doing that, and it's like, so there's a whole like social media thing is a part of it in the movie, and it's just kind of stupid. And like, they have this one game that's like this like deadly racing game that comes into it, but they don't really use it much other than a couple jokes and the cause strife in their relationship. And that's the other thing. I didn't like the stuff that happens, like, they have to have strife in between, Wreck-It Ralph and, the racing princess girl. And to do that, Wreck-It Ralph does something kind of horrible. And I don't think that they established why he would do something so horrible, and like what his thinking is to do this. Like, it makes a jump that I didn't quite get. And also, I will say that like there was a mom and some kids behind me, and like they were like, "Oh my god!" Like there's some that's gonna haunt my dreams. There are a couple moments like there's some characters that are creepy, at a certain point, and the climax of the movie is pretty creepy. Like, I won't spoil it, but like what they do with like this like writhing mass of things that it's creepy. Like, I mean, it's however they did it with with computers. It looks cool, but I don't know, for kids it may be nightmare fuel. Like, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. Especially as time went on. Like, I enjoyed bits of it, and bits of it were funny, but I don't really expect to watch it again either. And I don't think I'll buy it. But it's fine. It's still watchable. It's still enjoyable. I didn't love it. I'd probably give like a 7 out of 10. But thanks for watching. Check out the play from my head or subscribe to me in that Z over there. Thanks.